أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ, it is those people who كَفَرُوا بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ, who have disbelieved in the ayat of their Lord. Such people, they have disbelieved, they have rejected, they have denied the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلِقَائِهِ, and also His meeting. Because when a person truly believes in the meeting of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the hereafter, then he will strive to prepare for it. He will work, he will put in effort to prepare himself for that meeting. Think about it. A person who is waiting for the day that they're going to meet their spouse, the wedding day. When does the preparation begin? Think about it. Sometimes years before, sometimes months before. People will delay their wedding. They will remain engaged for years at times. Why? So that they can prepare for that day. So that everything can be set and ready. Why? Because they believe in that meeting. Similarly, if a person believes, is sure that he is going to meet his Lord one day in the hereafter, if he really believes in it, he will prepare for it. He will work for that meeting. It's not possible that a person says, yes, I am going to get married, but I'm not getting my wedding dress made. Yes, I am getting married, but I'm not getting a house ready for my wife. What are you going to say about this person? He's not serious. She's not serious. They're just saying like that. They're not getting married. They don't have any plans. And if they're serious, it will be obvious in their plans, in their actions, in their activities, in their schedule, in their life plan. It will be very obvious. So a person who believes in the meeting with his Lord, he will prepare for it. And a person who does not believe in it, he will not prepare for it. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ وَلِقَائِهِ. And remember, the ayat of Allah are of two types, kawni as well as shar'i. So they have rejected the ayat kawni. Ayat kawni, like for example, the sun, the moon, that Allah has not created them. This wealth that I have, Allah did not give it to me. I acquired it myself. This beauty I have, it's my family. This is what? Rejecting the ayat of Allah. Ayat shar'i, like for example, that this Qur'an is a human fabrication. It's the word of a human being. Why do you have to follow the Prophet ﷺ? Why do you have to follow his commands? Why do you have to follow his instructions? You don't need to follow the Sunnah. Do whatever you wish. This is what? Rejecting the shar'i ayat. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ وَلِقَائِهِ. And because of this kufr, فَحَبِطَتْ أَعْمَالُهُم. Their deeds are wasted. Wasted. Finished. حَبِطَتْ أَعْمَالُهُم. No matter how good they may appear to be. No matter how righteous they may appear to be. No matter how generous they are. No matter how kind they are. No matter how much they smile. No matter how much they give to the poor and the needy. No matter how successful they are in their worldly careers. No matter how much money they have made. No matter how good they are to their relatives. فَحَبِطَتْ أَعْمَالُهُم. Their sa'i will not benefit them. فَلَا نُقِيمُ لَهُمْ. So we shall not assign for them يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ, on the day of resurrection, وَزْنًا, any weight. To their deeds, we will not assign any weight at all. فَلَا نُقِيمُ لَهُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَزْنًا. Remember we learned earlier, وَالْوَزْنُ يَوْمَئِذٍ الْحَقِّ. The wazn on that day is going to be haqq. All deeds are going to be weighed. But their deeds, all the effort they put in to establish their career, to establish their business, to make all that money, all their deeds, which may appear to be extremely big in this dunya, great accomplishments, they will be put on the scale and they will have no weight. No weight. Zero. Nothing at all. فَلَا نُقِيمُ لَهُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَزْنًا. Why? Because they never did those actions for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They never did them according to the instructions of Allah. All their deeds revolved around the dunya. Nothing for the akhirah. This is how low and degraded they are in the sight of Allah. That when their deeds are placed on the scale, no weight. They may have amassed, accumulated a lot of wealth, but no weight. And remember that on the scale, it's not just the deeds that are going to be weighed. What else is going to be weighed? The person himself is going to be weighed. We learned the Prophet ﷺ said, a huge fat man will come forward on the day of resurrection. and he will weigh no more than the wing of a mosquito to Allah. He'll be put on the scale and he will have absolutely no weight. فَلَا نُقِيمُ لَهُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَزْنًا. If you notice in the surah, there's a lot of emphasis on deeds, on actions. But what kind of actions? That are ahsan, that are salih, baqiyatu salihat, ahsana amala. This is what the emphasis on. Because near Allah, the quantity is not as much important as is the quality of actions. A person may have done many actions, but if they are not of a certain quality, they do not carry any weight. They do not carry any weight at all. But on the other hand, if a person performs only a few deeds, but with ikhlas, with tawheed, in accordance to the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, this would make the scale very heavy. And if a person has many, but without sincerity, those deeds will have no weight. In Surah Al-Mu'minun, ayah 103 to 104, we learn, وَمَنْ خَفَّتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ فِي جَهَنَّمَ خَالِدُونَ تَلْفَحُ وُجُوهَهُمُ النَّارُ وَهُمْ فِيهَا كَالِحُونَ. But those whose scales are light, those are the ones who have lost their souls, being in hell, abiding eternally. The fire will sear their faces, and they therein will have tout smiles. But the believer, when he does a worldly task even, if he does it with a good intention, if he does it according to the teachings of Allah and His Messenger, then he will be rewarded for it. Even if apparently that action is a worldly action. And with those actions, he also focuses on such deeds that are exclusively for the sake of the hereafter. There's a balance. You see, we go on to extremes. We say, do everything of this dunya, just make your niyyah good. Don't bother praying, don't bother reciting the Qur'an, giving sadaqah, studying the Qur'an, nothing like that. Just busy yourself and know that you're a Muslim woman, and this is enough for you. That's not sufficient. Balance must be there. However, when a believer does something with good niyyah, and according to the teachings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then he is rewarded for it. Even if it's a simple action such as cooking food. That if a person prepares food with halal ingredients, and she prepares the food so that she can feed her children, she can feed her husband, so that they can become strong, healthy Muslims who can worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala better, who can bring benefit to humanity. This cooking one meal is also an act that is going to bring reward to her. We learned that once Imam al-Shafi'i, he visited Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. Imam al-Shafi'i was his teacher. And Imam Ahmad, he had prepared a lot of food for him. So when he came, he ate a lot. And the wife of Imam Ahmad, she was surprised. Because generally when you think of righteous people, you don't think that they're going to eat a lot of food. So he ate a lot. And his wife, she said that you have praised him so much, look, he ate so much food. So Imam Ahmad, he went and asked him then, that how come you ate so much food? So he replied, "Oh Ahmad, I ate plenty because I know for certain that your food is halal. Your food is halal. This is why I ate plenty. And you are a generous man. And the food that comes from a generous man is a cure. While the food that comes from a stingy man is a disease. This is why I ate the food. I ate so much of it. Because I know that the source is halal, and you're offering it with good intention. You're offering it with good heart, with your generosity. This is why I ate so much of it." Now unfortunately, many times we also cook food. But what are we thinking? What a waste of time. Why do I have to cook every day? This is such a burden. This is not fair. This is against women's rights. When is my husband going to start cooking? I have to go to school as well if he has to go to work. I have to look at housework and he doesn't need to do that. How come he doesn't cook? And with that, we put so much anger in the food that even if our children and our husbands and we eat that food, we cannot benefit at all. Good niyyah, good intention is extremely important. If I cook bread, and if sometimes it comes out burnt, my dad said, "Were you very angry?" That the anger is being reflected on the bread, that it's come out burnt, which is why it's not going to be a source of benefit and nutrition. It's a waste of food. So a simple deed, even such as cooking food, if it's done with good niyyah, with positive thinking, look at how beneficial it may be. And the same action, if it's done with riya, if it's done with anger, if it's done with ghadab, with, reminding people of favors. Look, I stood for so long, I stood for 3 hours trying to cook this food, and here you are, eating in 10 minutes, not even eating properly and going away. This is not fair. No. Have a good intention. Expect reward from Allah. And when a person has ikhlas, then all of his deeds are rewarded. And without ikhlas, nothing is rewarded, no matter how righteous apparently that action may be. We learned the Prophet ﷺ once he said to the companions, seek refuge in Allah against the pit of grief. Seek refuge in Allah against the pit of grief. So the companions asked, Allah's Messenger, what is that pit of grief? He replied, it is a river in hell. It is a river in hell, against which even hell seeks refuge 400 times a day. It's a river from which even hell seeks refuge 400 times a day. They again asked, O Allah's Messenger, who will enter it? And he responded, it has been prepared for the reciters of the Qur'an, desiring to show off their deeds. Reciters of the Qur'an, desiring to show off their deeds. The most detestable of the reciters in the sight of Allah are those who frequently visit the rulers. Why? To gain worldly benefits. So a person may be performing the most righteous of actions on the apparent, but if there is no ikhlas, if it's not done for the sake of Allah, it's a great loss. أَخْسَرِينَ أَعْمَالًا. It's not just a loss, it's a big liability. It's a big harm. It's going to bring great punishment. It's not that the scale will produce no results, it'll be zero. No, it will be in the minuses, bringing punishment to a person. ذَلِكَ جَزَاؤُهُمْ. That is a recompense. جَهَنَّمُ, hellfire. Why? بِمَا كَفَرُوا. Because they disbelieved. Because they did kufr, this is why they will get this reward, this recompense. وَاتَّخَذُوا, and they took ayati, my verses, وَرُسُلِي, and my messengers, خُزُوًا, in ridicule. Instead of believing, instead of accepting, what did they do? They took my verses and my messengers in ridicule. They mocked at them. They made fun of the ayat, they made fun of the messengers. And remember, ayat include commands of Allah. Making fun of the hijab, making fun of the miswak, making fun of the beard, making fun of rolling up of the pants. This is what? Ayat of Allah. Making fun of them, this is something unacceptable. Making fun of the ayat kauni even. If a person makes fun of another human being. What is another human being? Creation of Allah. An ayah. And if a person makes fun of his features, if a person makes fun of the way he talks, the way he walks perhaps, this is what? Making fun of the ayat of Allah. If a person makes fun of the system that Allah has set, of rain, of snow, this is what? Mocking at the ayat of Allah. وَرُسُلِي, and my messengers, huzuan, in mockery. Making fun of the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Making fun of the words of the Prophet ﷺ. Of his character, of his behavior, of his family, of his wives, of his personal affairs. This is what? Not acceptable. We learn in Surah Al-Anbiya, ayah number 36, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِذَا رَآكَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا إِن يَتَّخِذُونَكَ إِلَّا هُزُوًا. When the disbelievers see you, they only take you in mockery. They begin to make fun of you. In Surah Al-Furqan, ayah 41, we see, أَهَذَا الَّذِي بَعَثَ اللَّهُ رَسُولًا. They would make fun of him saying, is this the person whom Allah appointed to be a messenger? Like even today people say, that why him? Why that man from Arabia, such a long time ago? Why do we have to follow him? We are in the present day and age. We shouldn't be following him. And people mock at him. Those people who mock, for them is such punishment. جَزَاؤُهُمْ جَهَنَّمْ. Recitation.